All right, we are back. Welcome to the Side Action, episode 30, season 6. 30 episodes, Coop. My name
Yo,
is Mike Lars, aka Weg. Follow me on Instagram, Wegspool, and also on X at Wegspool.
nice. And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Pod. Check us out on Instagram and X as well. Uh, yeah, actually, 30, little secret here. 30 is actually my favorite number. When I was a
30?
little kid, yeah, King Griffey Jr. was my favorite player, and I was,
Sure.
like growing up in Dayton, obviously. Uh, we went
Shenanigans.
down to it was cool watching him and Adam Dunn hit home runs in Great American Ballpark as a kid.
Yeah.
Uh, I went down there. I had to be, I think I was in elementary school. No, I had to be in middle school, I think. But the little league coach I played with, he had season tickets. So he took me and my dad down. And I actually got Griffey was on the on deck circle. We were sitting right behind the dugout. I got a foul ball from Griffey. And that was like one of my first childhood
Yeah.
memories. But it was so awesome. So yeah, that's a nice little side story. So yeah, 30 episodes, man.
30
Who would have
episodes,
thought?
man. Shout out to Christina Ridgway if she's listening. She's a big Mariners fan, so she's a Griffey fan. So
Oh
it's
hell
good to
yeah.
see you, pal. We didn't talk last week. You were busy with your brother, right?
Yeah, Memphis was in town, so we enjoyed. We took in the sights, did some Legoland. We went to Monday Night Raw. We got to see The Rock.
You did?
WrestleMania is this weekend. So there's the plug. Check it out.
Where was it? Where was it at?
It was at Allstate Arena.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
got tickets on Game Time. Right there's another little plug. So shout out to Game Time for all your needs and tickets. Anyway, we got like in the second bowl. We were
Yeah,
like right on top of the ring. It's perfect. So
that's awesome.
uh, great time. Yeah, I got to be like a little kid again. I haven't been to wrestling in probably 12 or more years, give or take. So had a little nostalgia. Get to see The Rock, big Rock fan. So
Yeah.
yeah, we took in some ball games. Went to a Bulls game. Did the White Sox game. Um, and yeah, I'm trying to think. It's been a minute too. And then
You looked a
that
little
was
cold.
2 weeks ago now.
You looked a
So
little cold at the White Sox game, pal. Was it a little chilly out there?
well, luckily the sun was out for the most part, so it was in the 50s. It was probably
That's
15 to
not bad.
20-mile-an-hour winds. That was the only
Yeah.
like issue. Um, but yeah, when the sun was out, it wasn't too bad. Like you could have like a hoodie on, but when the sun went away, it got a little chilly. So not too
Yeah.
bad.
Yes.
We definitely we told Irv it was going to be a 1-0 game on the way there. That was the funny part, and I didn't bet on it. I don't know why.
And that was
Um,
the game they didn't get past first base, right? That there was
no,
talk.
no, they had a couple. They had like three base runners, I think, the whole game, and they were all in the first three innings. I'm pretty sure. So
Tough one.
yeah, pretty quick game. I think we were out of there by like maybe 5 o'clock on the dot, and the game started at like 3:20. So
Oh,
yeah, it's a quick
so
game.
Mark Burley would be proud somewhere.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
went
Hey,
to
the
a game
Mets are coming to
once.
town too.
I
So
showed up late to the game. We got there in the second inning, and I think the total time for the game was an hour and 20 minutes. So we missed the first like 8 minutes. So we were only there for an hour, 12
an
minutes.
hour,
It's just
man.
insane. I mean, it was like he just, I kind of like that though. So
Yeah, and they have the best like ballpark food there. So there's a
yeah,
lot of good options down there.
people always
That's the
talk.
one thing about that stadium.
They bag the Sox. They love Wrigley Field. The bottom line is we all know Wrigley. It's because of the surrounding area. It's not the
Yeah,
field itself. It's better than it used to be, but come on. That what is it? It's G rate now? Is that what it's called now? They keep changing it. That's always going to be U.S. Cellular or Comiskey Park to me, but where the White Sox play, they got a great concourse. You walk around. They got great food. The kids can hit the batting cage, the wiffle ball stuff. It's always a fun time.
no, absolutely. Like I said, it's the guaranteed rate field. By the way, is the
Yeah,
name.
that's what I thought. G rate.
Yeah, G rate. So, but yeah, it was a good time. But how's Hawaii treating you? By the way, so
You
you're
know,
walking a 5K every day. We
Yeah, I'm
established
walking a
that,
5K. Jimmy Wags is trying to lose the winter weight because everybody's so
right?
fit out here.
Are they
I guess,
really?
oh God, everybody's ripped out here. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy.
There's like two fat guys, me and some other guy.
Yeah, it's
And
probably because the food's so damn expensive. Nobody can afford to eat, so
that's a
everybody's just in shape.
fair point. It is expensive. I've been spending like 150 a week on groceries, and I'm trying to like be good about it, but I'm like, oh my God. But no, it's my week's pretty simple. I've been walking to work each day and working, going home, doing little gym stuff. There's a pool.
Nice.
And I'm like exhausted because if I have calls, like today I had a call at 5 in the morning, 5 a.m. calls, dude. It's like, what am I in the military now? So I'm up at 5, try to get some sleep, get back up, do the walk, come back by like 7:30. I'm exhausted. I feel like an old man. And but then come the weekend, Jimmy Weggs is kicking it up a notch. Last Friday was fun. Actually, last week was fun in general. I went out Wednesday night with my buddy, got some nice cocktails. His good friend and future roommate's a bartender at a Japanese restaurant in Waikiki. He made some nice cocktails.
Nice.
On Thursday, I watched a little bit of the games very early. Um, and then Friday, we did volleyball. We got some drinks afterwards at a like a beach near the bar near the beach. Then I went to an EDM concert.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing that on your Instagram. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Those guys
Okay.
were awesome, by the way. The Sponges, very underrated.
The Sponges. Okay.
It was funny because like
Great name, by the way.
one of the guys knew the guy that went on at 10 or 10:30, so we were there pretty early. Yeah, it's pretty early for EDM. And
Yeah.
I'm just kind of
Oh, yeah.
grooving around and whatever. And then when the Sponges came on at 12:30, these dudes look like they like glasses, kind of scruffy, long hair, baseball caps. I'm like, who are these guys? All of a sudden, they just kicked it up a notch. I mean, the lights were better, the music was better. I could only stay a little bit longer because I got up early to do the hike, which I was discussing before the pod, which
Yeah.
was 4 miles straight up. I was sweating as much as I've ever sweat in my life, and it wasn't even that hot. Thank God. It was
Right.
probably like it was a nice breezy day, so it was kind of cool, but I was sweating so bad, and this girl was
Like
just running me
60s,
back.
70s? What are we talking?
It was probably like 70, but I mean
Okay.
humid, but 70.
Because
But
you
it
said you
was
started at what time again? You said you started at like 8:30.
8:30 in
Okay.
the morning, and met this girl who was a marathon chick who's like a badass. I mean, she just worked me, and it was a
Yeah.
lot of steps. Like at the end, it was all stairs. They had built those stairs into the mud, like kind of to get the bearings. So there was probably 200 to 250 steps to finish this thing.
Nice.
And by the end, I mean, I was tired and got a great picture. It's beautiful up there. When we went down, I basically came home and took like a 2 hour nap. I was exhausted. I did go out again, played some darts with the guys, and then Sunday I just was kind of garbage. I just laid around. I did get some
Nice.
fancy cocktails with another young lady, local young lady. You saw the one with the smoke. Did you see that one? That was a good one. It was
I
like
think so. That was
the
Sunday, you
glass
said?
container, yeah, and then the
Okay.
smoke. But now I'm back to like Mr. Really tight, day. Don't
Yeah.
do much work out, go to sleep. But I'm gonna go camping. Well, that's the preview for the weekend. I'll talk about that later. So
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are going fine. Things are going
You're
fine.
putting the
It's
blinders on, if you will.
it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, Coop. It's
Okay.
kind of the same thing every day. I mean, I'm not complaining. It
Right.
is high of 79 every day. Same wind every day. I'm sure it'll change at some point, but it's like it's beautiful out there. You can see it back there again. It's lovely. Um, you're kind of like, should I go to the beach today? I'll just sit by the pool today. That's fine. You know, I'll go to the beach tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Get you some laps in.
I do. It's not I do a little thing. They got a little hot tub in there too. So
Yeah.
anyway,
It's hard to complain. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? I mean,
yeah.
that sounds like a champagne problem, Jimbo.
So
I hate to
let's
tell you that.
talk about it. I saw it on the recap. Wolfpack Friday. What happened? I didn't get any texts. I didn't get any drunken texts or videos. What's going on? What happened?
Yeah, no, it was just Arpan, Lee, and myself. We went out
Nice.
to I think it was like Lincoln Park area. So I can't. We went to that Irish. We didn't start at that Irish bar that has like a hole in the wall that goes to another bar. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, Halligan.
Yeah, we ended up there. We started at a different establishment down the street. Watched the Houston game and we watched
Nice.
the Tennessee game. So we doing that for a minute, but yeah, that was fun. Arpan did his thing, Lee and I did our thing. So
Is
uh,
Lieutenant Cabs getting around okay? He's got his moves back?
yeah, he doesn't. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't be able to tell that he, has had an injury at this
ACL.
point. So yeah, it looks like he's doing all right. I think he's just, if anything, he's following his protocol, which is good. So I'm sure he's doing his exercises. He seems like a pretty disciplined individual. So I feel like when he says he's doing
got to
it,
keep those calves. You can't just have one calf.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, when that's your calling card, right? You got to keep it. So yeah. So, but that was a good time. I learned that I can't grab Arpan by the collar, even if I'm just fucking with him. He doesn't like that. So I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to so if you're messing around with Arpan, don't I can't remember what I said, but I just grabbed him by the collar just to mess with him.
Grab your wrist and give you like a
it was more like he really got into my he was right here. Oh. He's like, don't do that. I'm like, all right. I didn't mean to do that. I mean that's not the reaction I was looking for. No. Yeah. Flip the wrong switch. So yeah. I was just fucking with you. My apologies. So but yeah.
That's what you guys do. How'd you do on bowling yesterday or 2 days ago?
So let's see, Tuesday we won the third quarter, quote unquote. So the playoffs start next week. So nice. We've come this far. This is it's it all comes down to this, if you will. Yeah, it comes down to 1 week at a time.
Elimination, or how does it work?
Yeah,
so it's a bracket.
Yeah. So
it's April Madness.
Essentially. So it comes down to week by week now. So that'll be fun. I keep flirting with that.
Week, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
ago we did pretty well. We won quite a bit of money in brackets and King of the Hill, and
you showed me some cash. There was a fan of cash.
Yeah. We did all right.
Just
so. Which is ironic because when I bought those White Sox tickets, and I woke up the next morning to a bunch of fraud texts from my card, basically. So I haven't had my card. I'm still waiting for the mail. So luckily I won all that cash. So that's what I've really been living on. Yeah.
You've been a cash guy. You got a billfold, or is it a rubber band?
No, I've got just like a regular old billfold. Yeah. So
I gotcha.
Can't complain too much. Okay. So, but that's and then we had Easter at Steph's house, so that was about it.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I didn't do anything for Easter. I laid around and
that's all right.
Macked on but
it's good to have a recovery day.
Yeah, I needed it. Well, let's talk about the shed, man. I can see you always put in some things here. So, I have some people in the shed. Maybe I beat up on them a little too early, but the White Sox. I know you went to the game, and I am a fan. Just so you know, I'm not just picking on the south side of Chicago, but I mean, give me a break. They did win on Tuesday, thank you, but they've started 1-4. I don't think they played last night, and they only scored 11 runs in those 5 games. Coop, they're not really getting it done. I mean, the Mets have scored 8 through 4 games. I don't know if they played today, but that's really not going to win you a lot of games. Averaging that low total. So when you're just over 2 runs a game, you're probably not going to win a lot of ball games. So. And I also saw this weird thing on Twitter or X where I think the game started the other night and the first base coach was in the bathroom or something, and
they didn't have a Scully is what it was. I think the Scully was broken. Yeah, it's they have to have a Scully for the base coach. Yeah, I was reading about that. But yeah, I saw that they had it on SportsCenter where it was everybody's standing around what the hell, where's this guy?
What kind of operation are we running here? Let's go. Let's start this goddamn game. It was really weird. So, White Sox, get in the shed, figure your stuff out. It's only April. I get it. It's only April, but
the sky's
falling. You look like not worse than a minor league squad right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And just for the people at home, obviously, because they can't see this, I love the frowny face that you put in the outline. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole thing. Yeah, it's just the dot frowny face. Yeah. So, no, they're definitely shed worthy. It was the only bright spot has been their lone lefty. What the hell is his name? He started opening day and he pitched Monday night too, and he pitched really well.
Okay.
And I can't remember his name. It's Italian or something. I'll look it up as we're going here. But who I've got in this shed, I've got John Fisher and basically all of the Oakland A's ownership. So they announced today that they're going to be playing their games basically from 2025 to 2027 in a minor league stadium. It was the AAA affiliate for maybe the A's, or excuse me, for the Angels. I can't remember the name of it, but it's going to be a minor league stadium for 2 years until they can get everything situated in Vegas. So
when you say minor league stadium, they're going to be in Oakland? Are they going to be in Las Vegas? Where are they going to be playing these games?
No, this give me just I knew you were gonna ask me this question.
Sorry,
No, I should have known.
no pre-show warm-up. Just went right
That's
in.
okay. So they're gonna play in Sacramento. That's what it is.
Okay.
So
Okay,
A's announced temporary. Yeah, they're
Sacktown.
gonna play in a minor league park in Sacramento.
I've been to Sacktown. Not bad.
Well, I mean, the Kings have a hard time getting people. They have a pretty small stadium, so
Yeah.
this place has fewer than 11,000 seats. So
Oh.
yeah.
Well, they don't really care about the fans. I mean, they did move the team, so we'll go from there. But I
Yeah, so
got
it's
you.
been a tough week to be an A's fan. That's for sure. The
That's
city
for
of
sure.
Oakland has lost the football team, and now they're losing the baseball team. So, crappy ownership. It's just tough that they did that. I also have the Miami Marlins.
Yes.
Much like the Sox, they're off to a great start. They're 0-8 right now, and they actually lost today as well. They have a negative 30 run differential, and they're already 4.5 games back of the Braves in the division. I don't know if you remember this or not, but this team was a wild card team last year.
I know. I don't understand.
They have a little bit of injury to their starting pitching, obviously, but this organization has been known to develop and at least be able to hang on. They've got some talent in the lineup. They should be able to, But 0-8, man, you can't win a division, and you can't win. You can't. I guess you can't get to the playoffs in the first month of the season, but by God, you can lose. The playoffs
Sure.
in the first month of the season is basically the old adage. So, it's going tough there in Miami. It really is. So they're in the shed.
They don't have the greatest fans down there either. So
No, which is odd because you would think it more of the Latino culture.
Sure.
It'd be a big deal. So
There's
maybe when they can win, maybe that's a big deal too if they can actually start winning. So I also have Rasheed Rice. I don't know if you saw the video and everything going on.
I didn't see the video, but I've seen all the comments.
Yeah, him and his buddies were, I guess, racing down the highway. You can find the video on Twitter or YouTube at this point. They caused him, I think it was a 6-car crash. His lawyers came out today and stating that he was the one driving the Lamborghini when it crashed. So, and the other kind of bad part was they were shown like leaving the scene of the crash. So, obviously, acting a fool is going to get you in the shed. He's not having a good week. Obviously, this could be, unfortunately, more. I don't want to say a Henry Ruggs situation, but obviously, the legal repercussion could lead to that, into that perspective, if you will. So. He's definitely in the shed. And then this happened obviously 2 weeks ago, and we didn't really get to talk about it. But Pete Rose, I think, is in the shed right now because I think he's wishing he had an interpreter, to blame for his gambling back in the 70s and 80s. So everything going on with Shohei Ohtani and like all the craziness and the theft. And obviously, like I said, we didn't get a chance to really talk about that since our last pod. But yeah, I think Pete Rose has been taken to the shed this week. Just, it's been a tough week for him. It's been a tough week for Shohei. And yeah.
I mean, it's funny because now that everything is all gambling all the time, I mean, he still would have been fined and all that stuff, but I don't know if he'd have lost his chance at the Hall. You know what I'm saying? But still, yeah, Shohei. I mean, it's okay. It's all on the interpreter, right? It's all the interpreter. So. What about Club Dub this week? Let's go positive here. I'm going to add somebody that's not on the list, by the way. But go ahead. You go first on the Club Dub.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have the Texans to start Club Dub. Obviously, they acquired Stephon Diggs, and I spelled Stephon wrong. That's funny. Stephon Diggs in a trade with Buffalo. Yeah, I was just typing away. Anyway, obviously they added Joe Mixon earlier this offseason from the Bengals to go along with Tank Dell and Nico Collins. They got CJ Stroud, rookie of the year coming, obviously at quarterback. And, he's only taken an $8 million cap hit this year. So they're really taking advantage of his rookie deal. The plan is already to let Stephon walk after 2024 anyway. Like they're going to let him be a free agent in 25. So it's basically a rental for the year. They give up, I think, a 4th and a 6th round pick and then take like an $18 million cap hit. They've never won. They're one of the 4 teams that have never won the Super Bowl either, or have been to the Super Bowl. I think one or the other.
So they actually get a pick back too. If I recall correctly, they get the 6th back. I think.
Okay, was that what they got? Got rid of the 2nd, maybe. Yeah.
Something
okay.
Like but I'm a little ambivalent on Stephon Diggs. He's I think he's a good player at times, but he's not a real number one guy to me. Like he can't get open a red zone, first of all. And secondly, like obviously he's had good years. He made the most amazing play for Minnesota, Vikings fan, history. But I just think that I don't know, he can be a big baby, but he's certainly going to help that receiver room. It's just a 1 year rental. I just wonder if he's going to be a good like teammate, or is he going to be an a-hole on the sideline? So we'll see what happens.
I actually think it'll be good. Like he'll get a lot of single coverage, and he's going to bring a veteran presence to that wide receiver room. So
For sure.
He's going to lighten the box for Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a huge fantasy year this year coming up.
You heard it here. You heard it here, everybody.
We'll definitely. I'm gonna say he'll definitely be on the Coops way too early, uppers this year. We'll look out for that. So we also put the 76ers in club dub. So Joel Embiid returned on Tuesday night, first time back in 9 weeks. Just in time for the playoffs to get him tuned up. He had 24 points in the win, and they're really looking to make a push. They have Tyrese Maxey has been playing really well. A lot of people see him as the most improved player. In the year this year for the league. So definitely looking forward to that. And then I had Ronel Blanco. I don't know if you remember seeing this, but he pitched a no-hitter against the Blue Jays on Monday. It was the 17th no-hitter in Houston Astros history. It was also the earliest no-hitter thrown in a season in MLB history. So a fun fact. And he's actually only on the roster right now due to injuries, so they're starting pitching. He's just really taking advantage of his opportunity. I also saw that he signed for like $9,000 when he was a 22-year-old. He didn't make his debut in the majors until he was 28, and he's now 30 years old. So he's obviously kind of gotten to the peak, and like I said, he's really taking advantage. Just definitely a cool story. It's
a good story. Amazing.
So that's what I had in a club dub this week.
Maybe they'll make a movie out of him someday.
Oh, Garrett Crochet, by the way, is the pitcher for the White Sox. That's their number one guy. That was the guy that started opening day, and he's the guy that beat the Braves the other night when the White Sox won. So just to let you know, I want to put respect on him.
Crochet, I like that.
Crochet, yeah.
Bobby Boucher. Okay. Okay. So my club dub. We're going to start non-sports related. First of all, I don't know if you noticed, Coop, you haven't mentioned this lovely camisa I have on, this nice Hawaiian Aloha shirt. My coworker, Sharon Har, she's very nice. She bought me 6 of these things. She's like, nice. I am sick of seeing you in those goddamn golf shirts. I'm going to get you some Aloha shirts. She said she got a discount. I hope she did because they don't look cheap. But I got 6 of these bad boys. I've been wearing them all week. And now I feel like a real Hawaiian. And it's a nice shirt. It's a nice looking shirt. Feels nice, comfortable, breathes.
Charlie Sheen would be proud. It's a great shirt.
I mean, I know where to get your shirts. You just got to send me your size dimensions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have my chest is getting bigger too. So we'll have to we might have to wait.
About these they're built for maybe not bigger, but they're airy. They're not skin tight. Like I know you like the skin tight ones.
No. I buy them that way. They end up being skin tight. There's a difference.
It's not a medium anymore. It's a whatever.
What's really funny is I used to wear the button-up bowling shirt when I was a kid. Like my mom thought it was cool to have that. So so I love the style. No, it is a nice looking shirt. I like that nice color.
They feel good. Okay, so that's Club Dub. Sharon, go to Club Dub. We'll see you later.
Shout out Sharon.
Get yourself something nice, But this goes to college basketball, which we'll talk a little more about in a minute. The DJs, NC State, man. I should have been more strong with my NC State love, which I had early. Didn't have them over Kentucky. Sorry, I screwed that up. But in the end, I mean, these guys were awesome, dude. DJ Horn, he's obviously the little guy. He's really quick on the outside, hit some J's. But my favorite guy in the tournament, DJ Burns. This dude is, big smooth. And there's so many different, comparisons to Escalade, the street ball guy, and track trailer, and Zach Randolph, but he's his own guy. And what I love about him is, and I don't know if you got to see him play much, but I've seen him play I think 3 out of the 4 games in the tournament. I saw him play 3 ACC tournament games. This dude, he's a complete basketball player. He's got great moves, scoring, but he's really good passer. He always gets his hand on the ball in defense too. So they've won 9 straight elimination games in March. Now, granted, we're turning into April here, but so I'm wondering if it continue into April. We can answer that question in a minute. But the Wolfpack, the DJs. Those are my guys in Club Dub. Have yourself go visit the DJ booth. Go ahead,
Yeah,
scratch
DJ
it up
Horny.
a bit with the DJ. And then the other guy is Zach Eady. I know this is kind of a whatever. It's a shout out to Action. You know, Action is going to Phoenix to the Final Four this weekend, so he's probably down there right now. He's there. He was going to go regardless of whether Purdue made it or not. But you know, he's a Boiler. He went to Purdue, so he's very excited. First time Purdue's made it in a gazillion years, or maybe ever. Did I put that in? I think it was since 1980. I think it's since Purdue.
Yeah, it's the 80s for sure.
So Zach Eady, this dude, 120 points in 4 games, bro. This guy is balling out. And I know he's like 7'10" or whatever he is, but he has willed his team in. I mean, there were a couple situations where they didn't look so great, but he made it happen, and he's playing great. You know, I'm not a huge Edie fan in the NBA, but I do think that he's balling out for his team, and he's made his team that lost in the first round last year to the Final Four. Without him, they'd probably lose in the first round again. So, Zach Eady, once you get yourself a little drink before the Final Four, maybe that'll help you win a game or two.
Did you hear what he said after that they won the game when he was going to the Final Four? Did you see what he said?
No, I did see him cut down the net without the ladder.
He said he had a boner after they won. Yeah, there's a video. It says he had you have DJ Horny up there, and I was like, well, speaking of Horny, you got Zach Eady and Club Dub, so you got a lot of blood flow going on in this club.
A lot of blood flow. When it's going to be Burns against Edie, that's going to be a fun matchup, a very distinct match. Anyway, what's your stat of the week here? Give me a stat of the week.
Oh yeah, so since baseball started, obviously we wanted to throw another one in here for you. So, can you name me the player who holds the record for the most career Grand Slams, and how many, for a bonus point, how many home runs, I guess, Grand Slams did this person hit?
Jeez. Most Grand Slams, huh? It's probably not as logical as it should be, but I would say most Grand Slams would be Barry Bonds.
No, you're in the right era though.
Yeah, well, the steroid era, of course. So how about Mark McGwire?
No, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you. So Alex Rodriguez is the correct answer.
Wow, that's a lot. That's surprising.
He had 25 Grand Slams in 22 seasons. So just to give you a little bit.
20. That's a good number. 25.
So yeah, 25. Lou Gehrig is second on the list with 23, and then Manny Ramirez is third with 21. And then Eddie Murray is fourth with 19, and then you start getting to the ties with like Willie McCovey and Robin Ventura at 18.
Ventura.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I like it.
That was the So just hopefully that helps somebody at a bar somewhere this week.
That's right. All right, well, let's go into college basketball here. Let's talk a little bit about some of the games I highlighted. You can throw in a few if you want to, and then we'll talk about the Final Four this week. Programming note, hopefully we'll be able to meet next week. I don't know if you can or not, but we will recap the Final Four championship, then we'll talk about the Masters, and then maybe take a couple weeks off before the draft, just programming note. But let's dig into college basketball for the last time here. I really like this game. Well, I shouldn't say like it. North Carolina was one of my teams. I had a future ticket on. I didn't like it, but I watched this game. And Alabama, the Crimson Tide, the 4 seed, they were +5 in this game. And early, it looked like North Carolina had their number. They were scoring at will. Baycott was dominating them. In the second half, it just kind of flipped. And it wasn't from the 3-point line necessarily. Crimson Tide just kind of went to this one guy, Grant Nelson, in the creep stash. I know you saw that creep stash of his. He's got a little weird stash, but he's a senior, 24 points, 12 rebounds. This dude hit 10 of their final 12 points in this game, and they ended up winning 89-87. He also had the game-winning block, which maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but he actually missed the last 2 free throws, and then Harrison Ingram tried the full-court shot, and Nelson just swatted out of the air to end the game. So that was the first game I thought was pretty amazing. 89-87, fun game, a lot of scoring, a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the first times Alabama actually played defense, because North Carolina only shot 38% from the field. Even though they scored 87 points, they had I think 78 field goals. I think I have here written down. So
56 in the first half, so they only scored 30 points in the second half. Yeah.
Yeah, so Alabama really tightened up in the second half, and yeah, that was. I mean, every other statistical category, Carolina, kind of dominated the game. So, and it just, I don't want to say it feels good, but it just feels right that the team of like 24-year-olds got beat by a bunch, by the team of like 19-year-olds. So, yeah, that's just. But yeah, no, to your point, it was kind of a game that you didn't know what was going to happen. I think, in my opinion, like you could see it going either way. So that was like the beginning. Like once you get to the Sweet 16, you kind of are like, okay, what are we looking at here? Because it's usually two good teams going against each other. So
yeah. And then the other Sweet 16 game I really liked, or I shouldn't say liked, I'm noting it, is Duke, another 4 seed. They were 4.5-point dogs against Houston. Now, granted, they probably wouldn't have won this game, but Jamal Shed went down in the first half with his ankle injury, and then it kind of changed. But the game was still nip and tuck. It just was one of those kind of like middle school, high school scoring games where his final score is 54-51. So it was the opposite of that Carolina game. But you saw some great defense there by both teams. And in the end, the Blue Devils did advance to the Elite Eight and kind of surprised people. I don't think many people had them that far. But those 4 seeds this year did pretty well.
Wegsy, we talked about this right before the tournament started, that the ceiling for Duke was going to be the Elite Eight.
I know, but why did you put that in your bracket? Because I've seen you on the Wegs pool standings. It couldn't have been that good.
Oh, I can't. No, I think I had Houston beating them. So, but I didn't know Jamal Shed was going to get hurt. If I'd have known that, because looking at this, they actually shot the same percentage. The only difference is that Duke made 6 threes and Houston only made 2. So that was really the big difference in the game. Houston missed 8 free throws as well. So that's going to haunt you for a long, long time there. They shot 52% from the free throw line. So, yeah, I mean, that was the big difference. They played their defense was fantastic. You couldn't have played better defense for Houston. So they could not put the ball. They were like allergic to putting the ball in the hoop.
They're kind of that stagnant and rough team. And that's the only thing about Houston that was fearful.
Could you imagine Dalton Connect on Houston? Could you imagine?
I mean, he had a good tournament too, but yes, the Daltons unite. So then we get to the Elite Eight games. I want to go back to Bama because I think they were one of my surprise teams this weekend. 4 seed, they played Clemson, we talked about Clemson. I know you didn't ride them as far as you should, but they really surprised, and really probably should have won this game, to be honest with you, Coop, but
yeah.
They allowed the Crimson Tide to shoot 10 of 15 in the second half from deep. And Mark Sears alone was 6 of 7 from deep, not to mention Clemson missed 8 second-half free throws. And they lose the game 89-82. But when you watch this game, I was watching it because I was rooting for Clemson. I don't know why, just kind of sticking, come on, let's go, Clemson. Let's, I was wrong about you, and then I start rooting for you, and you suck. But they had the inside. They had the inside guys, but then every time they went down, Bama was hitting a 3. And I was like, when are you going to run these guys off the 3-point line? But in the end, Bama not only covers the 3.5, but they win it outright. And, they won by 7, so they really got it done.
Yeah, big difference in this game, too, was the rebound margin. I mean, Alabama had 11 more rebounds than Clemson. So
that was Pringle. Pringle had like offensive rebounds in that game.
So, and I think a lot of those threes came off of those offensive rebounds. So, second chance points. Yep, second chance points. Somebody's open, and it just comes back to haunt you. So, I got my, I talked about the Tigers on our pre-tournament. I told them, they could, if they were going to be one of the last ACC teams standing, I think people will laugh at me. So
I didn't laugh at you. I just thought that they sucked, but I was wrong. They played just like NC State. They played so bad down the stretch, and then they lost early in the ACC tournament, unlike NC State. So they did surprise me. They played really well, and I was rooting for them. But I guess I didn't need to stop rooting for them when they would have won. But anyway. Yeah. How about the last games, NC State? Thank you for the segue. I already mentioned how I love the DJs, but this team was +7 in this game. Did you know, well, we'll get to this later, I guess, but did you know that this team, obviously I said, has won 9 straight in must-win situations, that they were down in this game. If you watch this game, they were down like 27-21 at halftime. Second half, 55 points on that tough Duke defense. I already talked about DJ Burns, but State is just playing so well together. And I will tell you, their one guy, Diarra, who's like their second big man, he's been going through Ramadan. And I don't know if it's over, but I hope so, because he's been having to play midday when he can't eat or drink anything. and then they'd have to give him spells of rest. And actually, this game he had some foul trouble, so he didn't play much. But when he plays well with Burns, and then you've got the Horn on the outside, and every now and then O'Connell hits a shot, they're a tough team to beat.
Yeah, no, they've got good size and good length too to go with that, so they can play good defense. But yeah, I don't know what shifted in this game, but it just you could feel it. It just NC State started running away. Yeah, you could just kind of see that Duke couldn't put the ball in the basket. I feel like the officiating was a little suspect, to be honest, but at the end of the day, they were making a lot more shots, and they were really taking advantage of Duke in transition too. It seemed like DJ would get in, set in the half court, and then they would just go from there, and then they would even kick out to him, definitely later in the game even. So,
well, in the first half, they just missed shots. I think they shot like 28% in the first half, and so you knew that was going to balance out. It's just that Duke wasn't really in sync either on offense, and I think the Wolfpack had something to do with that. Once they got Filipowski out of this game was over. And they had nothing inside. And, I mean, the one kid, the freshman, had a really good game for Duke. But, NC State's on a mission, and it's kind of worked for them. So they get back for the first time since 1983, as I mentioned before.
Yeah, shout out Jimmy B.
Let's talk about the Final Four now. You've got two games, obviously. The first game is the NC State, who now won the South, and then Purdue, Midwest. Purdue's a robust 8.5-point favorite. 146-point total in this one. Dude, I have to mention this, and I didn't do it. I really kicked myself because when I left the state, it was right before this all, I should have got a ticket on NC State. 200-1 before the tournament started. Did you know that?
Oh my God. No,
201. So now they're down to 20-1. So obviously a little late on that, but they start with the lowest odds, or I guess the longest odds on the board. The money line is plus 325. Just some quick math here, Coop. If you happen to like NC State, like Jimmy Wegs, put the 20-1 down. Why? You could be Jimmy Hedgerton, James Hedgerton the third.
Yeah.
Because if they end up winning this game, then all you have to do is just go on the other side. You're guaranteed a good chunk of cash. If you roll the money lines at plus 325, and I would imagine they'll be like plus 400 on the next one, you probably get to more like $1,600 instead of $2,000 on the win. So, I mean, I'm just saying, 20-1, pretty good odds still for a team that's won nine games in a row.
Yeah, no, and just they definitely have America on their side, to say the least. So,
yep.
I don't see how they could beat Purdue right now. I know they're playing well. It feels like Purdue. It feels like we're on this course for Purdue and UConn just to play for a national championship. It really does feel that way. So, I mean, I think the biggest chance or the best chance that NC State has is, I think you gotta let Edey score 30 or 40 and just hope that the guys around him can't put the ball in the bucket. Like, he's gonna score 40 points. Like, he's gonna get to the foul line. He's gonna it is what it is. Like, if they could stay somewhat out of foul trouble and like make them score kind of slowly and not let them obviously get out to controlling the pace of the game, I can see that. But I mean, to your point, if you're gonna play him for that natty for sure.
Yeah, the thing is that, and you saw it in the your Dalton Connect game. Well, Connect had a great game. We didn't mention that he had like 36 points or something in the last game too against.
Yeah, I'm gonna order his jersey, I think.
So they decided to play Edey one-on-one. I scored 40, right? And it kind of worked because they didn't hit. I think they only hit 2 threes until like the last minute, like 2 minutes of the game. Evanston, Lance Jones hit the big 3 to really kind of stretch the lead. But that is probably the way to beat them. Now, the only thing about it, NC State is, their front line, they've got 3 good players. They've got Burns, Diarra, and then what's the other dude's name? He's the Workman guy. I love that guy. But in the end, they only play 7 or 8 guys. So you can get into the bench pretty fast if there's some foul trouble. So I wonder if they're going to switch to more of a zone concept, but we'll see what happens. I still would roll with NC State, even money line here. 8.5 seems just too many points. I don't think they're going to blow them out. So
this definitely seems like an over game, though. I think I'd take the over here.
Oh yeah, 146. Get that over. Get that.
And
over.
they're in Phoenix. The air's probably a little thinner because they're at elevation, I think, right? Because Phoenix is at like 3,000 feet, give or take.
Probably. I mean, I'm not a geologist. So the next game is Alabama, who won the West, the 4 seed versus the 1 seed UConn East.
1086.
1086. Okay.
So,
And so UConn's 11.5. I've seen 12-point favorites, 161.5 point total. Now, let's face it, Alabama plays over games. I mean, even almost every game they've played in is an over game. The only way this goes under is UConn just completely blows them off the face of the earth, which they've been doing to everybody. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be fast paced. I'd play the over there too, but I'd lay the points. I think that Bama has played so well. They played so well in wherever the hell they were playing in their region. I just kind of expect them to shoot those threes in the bigger stadium. It's always something about the depth perception in that first game. They're not going to be as effective as they've been in these other games, and I think that that's going to be a problem for them. I think they're going to get blown out in this one.
Really? You think it's going to? Okay. I do like your theory of the over. I don't know if I would lay 11.5 though. That seems like that smells like a cover just because UConn has been dribbling every game out. They're not going to run the score up to your point. So even if UConn does blow them out, I feel like Alabama can definitely hit a backdoor cover. I'd be closer. I think I'd be more comfortable at 9 or 9.5 even. But once you hit 10, to me, I feel like that's the number. So I would definitely.
So UConn has covered. They've covered in 10 straight NCAA tournament games since last year. Just putting information out there.
Just putting it out there. So you know what that means, Wegsy? That means they're due. That means they're due for one. So
I
and they got in late. They got in late last night. They had plane trouble. So but knowing Hurley, knowing Dan, he'll use this to motivate the fellas. So
motivation. I
just
forgot
another
to
roadblock.
Before the preview is that it should have been my stat of the week. Did you know, besides NC State, you have the top 3 offenses per KenPom in offensive efficiency in Purdue? Alabama's 1, UConn is 2, and Purdue's 3. So it's going to be some points scored.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good point too. So yeah, we're taking overs. We're rooting for baskets. Yeah.
But you like Bama to cover this number?
I like Bama to cover, but UConn will win. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, and UConn's going to win the title. I mean, barring any kind of injury or like something crazy.
Well, and I put in the notes for the title game to skip ahead. They've won by double digits in every game since the St. John's game, which was a 95-90 game, by the way. So if it's going to be within the 10 points, like you think, it's going to be a high-scoring game. So because UConn can light it up. That's the closest game they've played in probably like 3 weeks. But we'll see what happens.
Crazy.
I just think they're on a mission. I mean, maybe something happens. The only thing about what Hurley said is they don't play in a lot of close games because they blow teams out. If they get pushed a little bit, you never know. Maybe they get a little tight, and again, I don't think teams are going to shoot. Usually what we always say in this podcast, first half totals under because the shooting is going to be pretty bad early, and then they start figuring out the second half because that depth perception, because they're playing in a football arena, right? It's a really huge arena. It's hard to get those angles to start for most teams.
No, that's fair. Different backdrops, if you will, stuff like that. So
that's right.
But that UConn team, they do look unstoppable. To your point. So
well, that's why I'm NC State.
And they play defense. That's the thing.
Oh, what I just had it up. We've got they might be their number. Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. UConn's the number 1 adjusted team. Purdue's number 2, and Alabama's 3. And then they're 4th adjusted in defense, UConn. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's
so they're top 5, yeah.
105, and Purdue's 17, which is still really good. NC State is 40 and 44, respectively. But, yeah, it's hard to imagine that. I still see what happens. I mean, I think I still like NC State maybe to do an upset, but I understand why you think Purdue's going to win. I don't think they're going to cover that number, but yeah, come the title game. I mean, come on. It's going to be one of those things that the whole public is going to be on UConn, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, they've been the favorite since we started, though. So I mean, they've been the best team all year for a reason, as well.
It's true.
So, and also they just last year's team wasn't even as good as this year's team. That's the thing.
I know.
And it's a brand new group, and it's not necessarily a brand new group, but it's kind of a new group, if you will.
There's a couple. There's 3 guys from last year that were played a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's something special. It's crazy. It's kind of cool.
It's something. Well, let's talk about the weekend ahead. I'm going to give you a little preview. Mama Wegs is coming on. She's coming.
Nice.
Coming to Hawaii, and I got to get a relay. I gotta ask somebody where I can get those type of things. But I'm going beach camping on Friday. That's going to be exciting. Some of the volleyball crew's going camping on the beach. So
Nice. You got a tent, or do you sleep out under the stars? Are you a star sleeper
well,
guy?
I bought a sleeping bag. I went to Target yesterday and bought a sleeping bag, and I'm hoping I can squeeze in a tent. I don't know if I'm going to make any new friends on the beach, but I would love that. But I'm prepared to be under the stars. I mean, it only gets to like whatever, like 55, 57 at night, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, wear a hoodie, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but then it's going to be hopefully a lighter hike on Saturday, so I'm not like incapacitated like last week where I was sore till yesterday. And then Mama Wegs comes, so I got to show her around the island.
Nice. Make sure you get your electrolytes. That'll help with that soreness. Some bananas going.
I'm trying, dude. They said magnesium, but I tell you, bro,
Yeah, that
at
too.
least there's a hot tub on the facility. I've been using that for the last few days.
Nice. Hell yeah. It doesn't live a good, whirlpool. So
That's right.
But no, I don't have too much going on. I'm supposed to go to dinner Friday night, grab some sushi, and then we're gonna play volleyball on Saturday. And then I don't know, maybe we'll do the wolf pack. And I know the eclipse is coming up. I don't know if that's a big deal in Hawaii because they're not really near it. So and then we got the playoffs. So playoffs. Talking about the playoffs.
How big is the bracket for the playoff?
So 6 teams made it from each division. So what? 1, 2, well, 3 rounds, 4 rounds technically.
So it's 16, you said?
Yes. Well, six teams. So 12 total, if you will.
12.
There's 2 divisions. It's like baseball. Okay. I have like 2 divisions.
So 12 made it, so there must be some sort of bye situation, right? Because
I think so.
I guess you'll figure it out. It's no big
we'll
deal.
figure it out. I know that we're in it. I know that we're the first seed. That's all I really, I didn't really care.
Number 1.
That's why I told her. Like it doesn't matter who we bowl because like the game objective doesn't change, right? Like we're still trying to bowl our highest score possible. We're trying to make the best shot possible. So it doesn't matter who we. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they do. It's what you do.
Correct. Like that doesn't matter. Like all we can do is what we can control. So make good shots, make your spares. There it is. Same thing in volleyball. Just don't beat yourself,
Well, sometimes you can get your ass beat by a good player, but
well, that's what I'm saying. As long as you don't beat yourself, there's a difference. I mean, same thing in bowling. I mean, I can get my ass beat by somebody that's better than me. That's perfectly fine. I mean, I could shoot 230 and lose, as long as I didn't beat myself. You know what I mean? So
it's true. It's very true.
Been there, done that. That's not fun.
Well, good. Well, hey.
I'm jealous. Do a little beach camping. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures. It's a new place. I haven't been to this place.
Bonfire. So. Hell yeah.
I'm assuming so. I'm gonna bring
some marshmallows. Yeah.
Some libations. I need to bring some snacks. I have to do that shopping tomorrow.
Have you gotten a fishing pole yet? You should get a fishing pole. You can do some shark fishing out there.
Fishing pole? Just throw it in there?
Yeah, you can shark fish from the beach. It's a fun time. I don't know if you've ever done that before.
It doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but okay.
What do you mean? That'd be a great time. Build the bonfire. Literally, you just throw it out there. You stick the pole in the ground, or you have it set up and you build the bonfire. It's a great time. Yeah.
I did. The girl I went out with Sunday did say she likes fishing, and I'm like, okay. I mean, she did not seem like the fishing type. I mean, her nails were like perfect, so I'm like, but that's
nice nails.
I know. I met a guy who has a sailboat or something. I gotta hit him up at some point, but I've been just on the land, walking around, checking things.
You need to get your sea legs, James. Your sea legs.
Get my sea legs. No, Mom's not much of a swimmer, so we're just gonna enjoy ourselves. It's more relaxing, lower the blood pressure.
Has she been to Hawaii before?
She's never been.
Oh, she's never been. Okay, so nice. That'll be fun. That'll be a great time. Then.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, follow us at Side Action Pod on Twitter and Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Follow me at Wegspool on Twitter and on Instagram.
Nice. And I'm Coop. You can follow me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper and on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Pod. Check us out on Instagram at Side Action Podcast and on Instagram at Side Action Pod. But until next week, we'll definitely work out a schedule because we got to talk about UConn winning a national championship and how they're the first team since Florida do back-to-back, and we're just living into the future right now. So.
And then I want to hear your Masters takes next week, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's that too. Did you hear about like Tiger? That just a little look into the future as well. There was a close friend of his that said he hasn't had any sex in like 3 weeks because he's been trying to really clear his mind for the Masters. It's all about golf. So that's just the rumors. I don't know if they're true or not. That's just what rumor has on the internet out there. So you can check that out.
No, I hope that
Big sex toy guy, this guy. That's what I would say. So that's just what rumor has. It's just what.
this is supposed to be on the after podcast.
That's what the internet is saying. So, but yeah, until next week, Masters. We'll look at some odds. Hell yeah, talk about a hole in one.
Oh my God! All right, everybody, enjoy the weekend.
Love you guys.